What's going on, guys? So, who doesn't like to smell great on a budget? I know for a lot of you that follow this channel, that is your goal, and I don't blame you. That's still my goal to this day. Has been for a very, very long time. It's part of my core. I like smelling good for a very affordable price. And one that I get asked about often, because I've done my fair share of recommendations for great everyday fragrances, but haven't really covered too many great everyday cheap fragrances. The affordable stuff, the under $50 range, and a lot of these even in the $20 to $30 range. So in this video, I'm bringing you 10 fragrances that I feel are just some of the best picks. A lot of really underrated stuff too. A lot of stuff that I find doesn't get talked about enough, or some stuff that really hasn't been recommended or I don't see anybody wearing that often. It's still readily available for a great price that are great fragrances. I've got 10 of those in this video for you, and I want to discuss them. So stay tuned. Starting with one that the other day I did a battle video between this and Club de Nuit Intense Man. I am talking about Montblanc Explorer. And for those of you that didn't see that video, I hate to spoil it, but this ended up being my recommendation. And the main reason why is because I find this to be a better everyday fragrance. And you can get this in the sub $50 range. I paid $30 from FragranceNet a while back after the 35% off coupon code and got this 60 ml. Most discounters online, you're going to be in the $30 to $40 range depending on bottle size at a discounted price. It's a great fragrance at that price point. My wife loves the way this one smells. It doubles as a great everyday signature scent for work and casual, as well as a great evening scent. This is a nice compliment puller. It's a solid performer. Some people tell me they get beast level performance. Some people get weaker performance. I get more in that, average 5 to 6 hour range, which I'm good with, especially at the price point. It's got kind of the Credaventus vibe without smelling exactly like Credaventus. This is more about bergamot and ambroxan and leather and woods and stuff like that. Like I said, similar, but not the same. Best part is it's grab and go. It's easy to like. It's easy to wear. Like I said, solid performer. If you're looking for a savage beast, I don't have much of that going on here. When you start getting the more affordable price points, most of the time you're not going to get 10 to 12 hour long fragrances, but you can get some really, really good stuff at an affordable price point. And this is probably the perfect fragrance to start this video topic off because it encapsulates everything about this video topic. It's a great cheap fragrance that's perfect for everyday use. Again, Montblanc Explorer. We're reaching back in time with this pick. This is one that I want to start wearing again. I haven't wore this one but maybe once in the last year. It's been a long time since I've spent time with it. I had a bottle in the past. I rebought this one a few years back and just haven't revisited it enough. It's a great everyday fragrance that's a little fresh. It's a little spicy and green. It's even got a little bit of a floral tone without being flowery. It is the infamous Versace Blue Jeans. This is pretty much a timeless classic. This has been around for a few decades now, and it's one that a lot of guys still really enjoy. And it's a very unique smell. I still to this day have never smelled another fragrance that smells like Versace Blue Jeans. And you can get this one for 20 bucks. Most places. Rack stores, they pop up all the time. 20 bucks. Online, 20 to 30 bucks for these, 100 mLs, 75 mLs, stuff like that. This one's a 75 ml. And they actually still perform. They're not watered down like most fragrances that last decades and decades. Usually they'll start to take more and more of a performance hit. While I'm sure this doesn't perform as well as it did in the 90s, it's still every bit of a 6 to 8 hour fragrance on my skin. There's friends of mine in the community that wear this pretty often because it's a nostalgic fragrance for them that it still get like 10 hours on their skin. So it really comes down to a skin chemistry thing. But like I said, very unique, even though it's named Blue Jeans, which comes across as a more casual type of fragrance based on the name. It does lean a little bit casual, but because there's a lot of character here, because there's a lot of greenery, woods, and florals to go along with the citruses, it's not just like a citrus wood musk aromatic type of thing, which is more on the basic side. There's quite a bit going on here, and for what it is, it's actually decently complex and has solid amount of depth to it. You'll pick up different nuances throughout the life of the wearing of the fragrance on your skin. It changes quite a bit from what you're going to get in the opening blast, the heart of the fragrance when those citruses settle down, the early dry down, the deep dry down. This actually goes through phases. It'll surprise you for $20. That's why I felt like this would be a great choice for this video topic. Those of you that have never tried it before, you're missing out. Those of you that have tried it in the past, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Versace Blue Jeans. A personal favorite of mine as far as mass appealing everyday fragrances. This is one that over the years I've featured sporadically on my channel. It was a go-to at one point for me. Signature scent worthy stuff at an affordable price point is all about what Coach for Men is. Yes, Coach Platinum. There was a time when its flanker the flanker Coach Platinum got a lot more love than this one, but it's still my favorite. There's two flankers at this point now. There's Coach for Men Blue. It's a much more fresh, summery type of fragrance, but here you're getting a kumquat pear combo. Not something you get every day in a fragrance. It's got a juicy, fruity smell, but a different, slightly more unique, juicy, fruity smell with a little bit of an ambroxan feel, kind of like a different take on the Sauvage vibe kind of thing, without smelling exactly like Sauvage, because it's more ambergris, amberwood, given that ambroxan, salty, shower gel type of feel. There's a little bit of suede in here that kind of adds to that kind of depth of the fragrance. It's not a powerhouse by any means, but in the first hour and a half or so, it really gets out in the air. It can really grab somebody. I've gotten many compliments in my day wearing this one. There was a time back when I worked at Mercedes that I wore this one pretty heavily. This stuff is really good. Super underrated at this point. Nobody talks about it anymore. I don't really see too many people wearing it, and it's to the point to where if you're pulling this bottle out, you're probably going to be the only person around you that smells like this. And like I said, compliment getting stuff. Very fresh, very aromatic without being just super overloaded with lavender. The suede leather gives a different leathery type of accord. It's more smooth and buttery than rough and rugged. It's more of a supple type of feel with that amber woody ambroxan type of feel. It's solid. Like I said, if you're looking for a beast, this is definitely not a beast. But if you're looking for something super versatile that can go across the board, all the way down from a t-shirt to, I've worn this with a gray suit before, suit and tie. This can do just about everything. That's why I think it's great for this topic. 60 mLs in the $30 range, 100 mLs in the $40 and below range, like $38 to $42 range. You can expect to pay from online discounters for a 100 milliliter bottle of this. I think it's a fantastic, cheap everyday fragrance. So get your nose on this one if you've yet to. They do have them at Coach outlets and Coach stores, so you can try the testers. You may end up needing a bottle of Coach for Men. One that I myself have not reached for in quite some time. It's the fresher version of the beloved Dolce & Gabbana The One scent profile, that being Dolce & Gabbana The One Gray. This is, in my opinion, the best everyday choice if you like that style. It still has that sweet ambery tobacco DNA scent profile, but it's much, much fresher. There's a little touch of green. There's some added citrus up top. Still about the same kind of performance you would expect from Dolce & Gabbana The One. It's in that 5 to 6 hour range. Some people may get a little bit less. Some people may get a little bit more. I get in that average range of 5 to 6 hours on my skin. And like I said, it's a treat as a great everyday work scent type of thing. If you're a fan of Dolce & Gabbana The One, or your significant other really loves the way Dolce & Gabbana The One smells on you, it's kind of the go-to when you guys go to dinner or you have an evening out and do something special together. If that's kind of your jam in the evenings, you're bound to dig this during the day because it keeps that vibe, it keeps that feeling, but freshens it up, makes it a bit more versatile and that much more appropriate to make a great everyday daytime scent. It's good casually, it's good at work, regardless of your work setting. It's not in your face, but it's pronounced enough to, like, just like with Coach for Men, the pick before this, to grab somebody early on, first hour to 2 hour range, when projections at its strongest. CI, scent bubble, scent trail type of stuff is on the weaker side. You do have to pass relatively close to somebody a few hours into the life of the fragrance. So it's not a strong performer as far as the sillage, but the projection's definitely there early on. And like I said, it's average lifespan on my skin. 5 to 6 hour stuff is what I would say is kind of a safe gauge. Like I said, you may get a little bit more, you may get a little bit less, but this is one that doesn't get enough love. Even for me, it's been a while since I've worn this one. I did a full review on this one like 2 years ago. There was a time when I was really reaching for this one, and I need to reach back because it's great. It's perfect for the time of year we're moving into right now. At the recording of this, we're officially into spring, the early stages of official spring weather. It's the last day of March that this video is going to go live, second to last day of March that we're recording it. It just fits the video topic so perfectly. You can find these in the $40 to $50 range for the bigger bottles. Smaller bottles, obviously, in the sub $40 range. They are available from most discounters because this isn't one that everybody's wearing. Super underrated stuff, I'm telling you. This can be a little gem that you add to your wardrobe. Dolce & Gabbana, the One Gray. I would be remiss if I didn't feature this fragrance in this video. Honestly, some of my regular viewers would ask me in the comments where this fragrance is if it wasn't in here, because I try not to over recommend it, because I've recommended this fragrance more than any other on this channel because it's just that good in my opinion. Salvatore Ferragamo Acqua Essenziale Blue. My favorite blue fragrance still to this day. You're going to get, so the easiest comparison is you're going to get a little hit, a little reminder of the citrus of Bleu de Chanel, just a touch of it in the top. It's going to give you a similar vibe to the core of what Dylan Blue's about. Doesn't have the same aquatic and smoky aspects. It's not a massive Ambroxan bomb like a Dylan Blue. They don't smell the same, but you're going to get a similar feeling and vibe to Dylan Blue in the core of this fragrance. This is more aromatic. It's slightly powdery. It's a little bit sweeter than both of those fragrances, Bleu de Chanel and Dylan Blue. It kind of stands on its own where it borrows a little bit of the aura from several different popular blue fragrances and kind of becomes its own thing at the same time. Performance is above average. I get in the 8 to 9 hour range on my skin, and it's a pretty heavy projector in the first 2 hours. You can find 100 mLs in the sub $40 range from most places. They pop up 50 ml bottles like this at the rack stores for around $17. You can get gift sets for around $30 from rack stores. And when I say rack stores, I mean for those of you that don't know, I mean places like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Ross Dress for Less, Burlington, Belk, places like that. Keep your eyes peeled because that's where you can really come up on a great price on these fragrances, more so than from discounters online, but you can still get these for a great price online. $30 to $40 range is a steal in my opinion for this. This is a lifer type of fragrance for me. I have multiple bottles of this because it's one that I have to have. I go through spurts where I'm real hardcore on it for a little while and then I don't touch it for a little while. And I go real hardcore on it for a little while and I don't touch it for a little while. And I'm starting to get the itch to want to wear this one again. It's been a little while since it's been heavy in my rotation, and it fits this video topic so perfectly. It's been a little while since I've really given you guys a reason that haven't tried this before to really seek this out and give it a shot. If you like blue fragrances at all, are mass appealing, easy to wear stuff, there's no reason to give this one a try because it doesn't smell exactly like Dior Sauvage, doesn't smell exactly like Dylan Blue, doesn't smell exactly like Bleu de Chanel. It takes a little bit of all of them and makes its own thing. A little bit of uniqueness in a blue fragrance is a rare thing. And here you get a little bit of that. Definitely worth giving a shot. One of the best affordable everyday colognes money can buy, in my personal opinion, is Salvatore Ferragamo Acqua Essenziale Blue. Now this pick's really for the freshy lovers. If you're into super fresh, mega enjoyable, and you like to get paid a nice compliment from time to time. You like people to tell you that you smell good. You like for that stuff to happen more times than not. Fragrances like Hugo Boss, Hugo Reversed, pretty good at that. This fragrance smells most similar to a much more expensive fragrance. God, that beautiful bright grapefruit. Known as Raja Parfum's Elysium Parfum Cologne, the blue bottle. This is a dead ringer for it. On the same quality level, no. You can find this for under $30 for a 4.2 ounce and 2.5 ounce, which this is a 2.5 ounce. $25, you'll find it at the rack stores for this 75 ml bottle. Right around $30, $28 to $35, you'll find 4.2 ounce, 125 mLs from discounters online. Super affordable, not killing it in performance, but killing it in enjoyability of scent profile. This stuff is such a crowd pleaser, it should be a crime. It's super, super good. It really is. It is the designer budget take on Raja Parfums Elysium. It's a great alternative. It really is, because you're going to spend a fraction of the price. You're talking hundreds of dollars for Elysium. You're talking $30 range for the biggest bottle of this. I wouldn't recommend bathing in it, but you can definitely heavy spray, overspray this one. Dial it up, get some adjusted performance out of this one, because I get in that 5-hour range. But if I was to spray this one in the 10 plus spray range like some of you like to do, yeah, I probably would get a little bit more. The projection is going to be quite heavy. You'll have a very big scent bubble if you spray this one heavy. And it's cheap enough to where you won't hesitate, you know, because you can always grab another bottle. It's readily available in production, cheap from most discounters online. Like I said, they pop up at the rack stores all the time. This bottle came from Burlington. Cheap, smells great, never a bad time to wear it, works in every situation. Ideal for warmer weather, sure, but it'll do just fine in the cold. This is a great, cheap, everyday cologne that more people need to get their hands on. That's Hugo Boss, Hugo Reversed. A nostalgia pick for me personally, an all-time great cheap fragrance. Nobody can convince me otherwise. If you don't feel that way, sorry to hear that. But Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger is one of the greatest everyday cheap fragrances ever made. That's right, let me say that again. One of the greatest cheap colognes ever made. You can't go wrong here. Does it smell exactly like it did in the 90s? No. Reformulations happen over the years. It's been a few decades since this thing came out, but I have to tell you, it's got a good citrusy smell. The cactus note that's in here has a little bit of a bitter, juicy, kind of fresh, spicy accord to it. There's a little touch of this cotton flower powdery nature. It doesn't necessarily smell like cotton, but it's a little like clean, powdery linen type of smell in the background. Of course, there's a little bit of woods. There's this very distinctive berry sweetness, almost a bitter berry. It's a red berries note that's in here. Not a killer in performance, but it's one that you can just keep going back to. If you get little bottles like this, this is not my only 30 ml. I have a 50 ml. I have multiple bottles of this. This is really good stuff. I'll always have a bottle. This is one of my favorite fragrances ever made. This is one you can expect to see for the life of this channel. You'll see this fragrance pop up from time to time. Maybe not that it's this exact bottle as time progresses, but Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. This is the 90s in a bottle and does not smell dated. It doesn't smell like other fragrances. It smells like Tommy. This is one of the fragrances that hasn't been replicated to death that was extremely popular. So, yay for me, because I love the originality of this. It's got that everyday casual appeal, but there's enough of an edge to it, I guess you could say, to dress it up a little bit. Not daring by any means, but that crisp edge that this one brings with that denser green smell refines it just enough to where this one dresses up to make a fantastic work scent. That's why this had to be in this video topic. Like I said before, it's one of the best everyday cheap colognes ever made. That's Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. This is another one back-to-back that are cheap and pretty unique. This one's even more so unique than Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. You can find 100 milliliter bottles in the $20 range, 50 ml bottles like this even cheaper with Shawn John 3 AM. This has a blast of grapefruit. There's a fig leaf note. There's a tonic water smell that's very pronounced. It's got a crispness to the scent profile without being tart from the grapefruit, and there's a synthetic supple leather feel in the background to really provide some body and some depth in the background for the dry down of this fragrance. It really adds a little bit of staying power to it, but it's not a beast in any way. I don't get super heavy performance out of this one. I have a close personal friend that wears this regularly that gets better performance than I do, that gets above 6 hours. I get in that 4 to 5 hour range, sometimes even worse than that on a really hot day, but on a cooler day, 4, 5, maybe even 6 hours, and this has one of the best atomizers ever. Not that it matters for the scent, but I mean, look at this. It's outrageous. And it's very unique. I've never smelled another fragrance that smells like Shawn John 3 AM. This is one of those celebrity fragrances that I swear by. This stuff is great. This isn't far from the first time this has been featured on this channel. If you watch me on a regular basis, you may have expected to see this one in this video topic because it suits it so well, because it not only provides a great option that works in many different apparel and attire situations, it's so unique for the money. That's a big added bonus here, is it's so unique for the money. Nothing else smells like 3 a.m. It's very distinctive. You'll stand out with this fragrance. A little bit polarizing. There are some people that can't stand the smell of it out there, but more so it's got that hidden gem appeal. Still, even after the hype and praise it's received here in the community, the masses still don't know that much about this one. So if you want to stand out, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you might want to look at this one because it's a great everyday cheap cologne. It's Shawn John 3 a.m. So these last two hit the high side of what I consider cheap. These are in the $50 range. I did look around on eBay for this one just to make sure it would still fit the video topic from a pricing standpoint. And I saw 75 ml testers just like this bottle in the $35 to $50 price range from a bunch of reliable sellers. This is one I have not featured in a while on the video. This is one that I don't think really anybody has featured in a long time. That's great. Armani Code Colonia. That's right. Shame on me. This is one of my favorite Armani fragrances that I just never wear. I hardly ever reach for it. It's been so long since I've worn it. Orange, citrus, fresh, a little powdery sweet tonka bean. It's got the tonka bean the DNA is known for, but this is probably the bluest take. Not just because of the color scheme, but it's so easygoing, mass appealing, and for as fresh and airy as this fragrance is, I get great projection out of it, and I get like 8 hours on my skin. I love this one. It's got a little bit of sexiness to it. This is a great summer date night fragrance too, believe it or not. But this is one that can roll with the punches every single day. It has that sexiness. It's alluring, but it's still super fresh and a little easygoing at the same time. It's very versatile like that. It can pull off a lot of situations. That's why I wanted to make sure it would fit the price point, because it definitely fits the overall gist of the topic of being a great everyday cologne for guys. It really is. It's great casually. It's a killer work scent. It really is. It's going to have a little bit of uniqueness for being a work scent, even in an office setting. And then it can double great as a date night fragrance in the evenings all year long. Summer weather on into cold winters while it's snowing at night. Because you're either going to have the AC on inside during the summer, or they're going to have the heater or a fire going inside in the winter. This stuff is magic. Shame on me. Another one I haven't reached for in quite some time, because I don't know, when you get so many fragrances, some gems kind of get pushed to the side a little bit because you're trying so many new things. But this is some really good stuff that can be had for a great price, and 75 milliliters of this fragrance, 2.5 ounces, will go a long way, even if you have a smaller collection of only maybe a handful of fragrances, because you don't need a lot of sprays. This is a 4 to 6 sprayer for me. Don't need more than that, because like I said, it projects very well on my skin, and it has some really good staying power. Above average performance here. Not a beast, but definitely above average across the board. And that compliment factor, like I said, it's sexy and alluring. It's definitely there. So give this one a look. If you've yet to try it, it's a great everyday option that people seem to forget about. It's Armani Code Colonia. Last but not least, depending on where you find it, this falls into my cheapie category, or it kind of misses it by a few dollars. So be your own judge, but it still fits the video topic so well because it's super underrated. Especially if you're willing to get a 60 ml bottle like this, then you can fall into this price point if you're okay with a 60 ml bottle. That is YSL L'homme Le Parfum. This is my favorite Lome flanker. This is the one I keep going back to. I have a handful of Lome fragrances from YSL. YSL was one of my favorite designer brands. Love the Y line. Love Lome. Love its flanker line of La Nuit de Lome. I have more La Nuit de Lomes than I do Lomes. Because for those of you that don't know, La Nuit de Lome is a flanker of the original of this fragrance. It's got its own flanker line, and then its flanker has its own flanker line. I know that's wordy and a lot of the use of the word flanker. So if you've ever smelled the original Lome, it's got this very attractive sandalwood citrus, easygoing, slightly creamy vibe. Almost a sporty feel. A little bit of a gingery type of smell. It's got a little bit of crispness to it. It's very, very good for an everyday type of occasion. Like going to work, day off, like it's got sport flankers and all that other good stuff. But the original kind of does everything except perform. That's the thing. These days, it's very, very weak. And actually, you're going to pay maybe a couple dollars more than this one for the original in most places, believe it or not. And I personally think this is a better fragrance. It's going to perform better. This is 6 to 8 hours on my skin. This is average to above average in longevity. Projection is arm's length type of reach stuff. It's not a beast, but it does grab because it's a more dense fragrance. This smells like a denser, richer, slightly sweeter version of Lome. But that's the kind of feel that it gives. I want to spray this one in the air again. I love this stuff. It's so good and so underrated. There's like I said, there's a little sweetness going on here. You still get some of that freshness up top with some of that citrus, but the density and the body of this fragrance has changed greatly. That's what makes it such a better pick than the original Lome. This doesn't smell exactly like it, but it definitely smells of the DNA in a much stronger version. It wears a bit heavier, not the absolute best choice in super high heat. Just be easy on the sprays and you'll be fine. But this is one that's great to just grab and go. If you just need that one fragrance that can double as your evening scent and your everyday fragrance that you wear to work, you wear on your days off, you run errands with, just signature scent, the only one I need type of appeal, L'homme Le Parfum has that type of appeal. The only thing is, if it's going to be on the higher side, if you put your cheap guidelines the way I do, where it's $50 and below, some places for 60 ml bottles you can find it in the 40 some odd dollar range if you get lucky, but most of the time it's going to be in the low 50s range. So it's just a few dollars over the cutoff, but I still felt like it really deserved to be in this video because it's such a great fragrance that really fits the video topic. It's a fantastic everyday cologne. It really is. You get the performance, you get the versatility, and like I said, it's got that alluring appeal that it can go beyond just being an everyday wear and double as a date night fragrance because it's a little bit denser, it's a little bit sweeter. It adds that evening appeal that's kind of lacking from the original YSL L'homme. So check this one out, secure a sample, go try it somewhere that has a tester, at one of these fragrance department stores. See for yourself because you may end up needing a bottle because it is really good stuff and it's very underrated from what I see. It's Yves Saint Laurent, L'homme Le Parfum. So that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. Have you tried any of the fragrances in this video? And if you have, what do you think of them personally? I'm sure others that view the video would love to see other opinions on some of these fragrances as per usual. So definitely sound off in the comments. And if not, what in this video intrigued you? What sparked your attention and makes you feel like, might need to try that one? Curious to see some of those comments as well. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 10 and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.